There is a very serious health story around the country that doesn't get enough attention with all the political news. An epidemic among middle school and high school students known as vaping. These same kids who would not smoke cigarettes are turning to e-cigarettes, commonly known by the brand name Juul, to vape. It's having serious consequences, particularly with regard to addiction to tobacco and nicotine among these kids. CNN's Dr. Sanjay Gupta has more.
In Milford, Connecticut, high school principal Frances Thompson is desperately trying to snuff out a problem that teachers are having all across the country.
They would come in here, you'd have 4 or 5 kids at a time congregating, and they'd start to vape.
It's a trend that many parents are not even aware of. But e-cigarette use, or vaping, has grown an astonishing 900% among high school students in recent years, according to the Surgeon General. And a 2016 National Youth Tobacco Survey found nearly 1.7 million high school students and 500,000 middle schoolers had used e-cigarettes in just the 30-day period before the survey was taken. In Rentham, Massachusetts, Assistant Vice Principal Spencer Christie says he too is overwhelmed by this new and pervasive epidemic.
Are Juul pods. Now it's moved to students vaping in hallways, vaping in classrooms.
In the back 2 desks in the corner, they had their hands kind of up like this, and there was a blue light coming from between their hands.
The most popular item, which is the Juul, and as you can see, it looks like a flash drive. It's not. And then the kids can just tuck it away when they're done. So
it's not just the design of these products. Critics say all these flavors also entice kids to start vaping. One study out of Harvard found some of these artificial flavors contain diacetyl. That's a chemical linked to severe respiratory disease.
The kids that I talk to believe that there's nothing in there that's dangerous. They don't think there's anything more than water.
It's not water. It's called e-liquid. And when heated by the coil, it changes to an aerosol. Columbia University researchers using this machine found the vapor has toxic metals like chromium, nickel, zinc, and lead. And as we know, there is no safe level of lead. With very little regulation, people are not fully aware of what they're consuming. I sat down with the FDA Commissioner, Scott Gottlieb, and asked him about this e-cig phenomenon.
Youth use is deeply concerning to me. We're going to be taking some enforcement actions very soon to target companies that we think are marketing products in ways that they're deliberately appealing to kids. I'm going to be having conversations with some of these companies, trying to inspire them, if I can, to take more corrective actions on their own.
Don't forget, nicotine is one of the most addictive substances out there.
I think it's the next epidemic among teenagers.
Sanjay, thank you for turning your attention to this. It is a hideous problem. These tobacco companies, as you point out, are marketing this to kids by having those flavored pods. That's outrageous when they say what they're really trying to do is help smokers try to cut down on smoking. To get to the heart of it is not only is this so easily undetectable, but it is the gateway, right? I mean, it is the getting, if you smoke a Juul, one pod is the equivalent to 2 packs of cigarettes in terms of the nicotine delivery. What is the impact on getting kids hooked on nicotine, and then where does it go from there?
That is the exact rub. I mean, if you talk to experts within the government, they're saying, look, there may be some evidence that it has decreased smoking among adults. Remember, it was marketed as a smoking cessation tool, but you've seen these staggering numbers, 900% increase among youth. We know that among youth, combustible cigarette consumption has gone down, but of the new cigarette smokers, who are smoking actual cigarettes, a quarter of them roughly start off by using e-cigs. So there does appear to be that sort of gateway thing. It may have had an impact on adults, but now we're paying the price with regard to youth. That's the real concern.
But Sanjay, just so I understand, because my kids haven't encountered this yet, God willing, they won't. But is it the same as when teenagers smoked in the 70s and 80s and 90s, or is vaping somehow, because of all the metals that you talked about, somehow worse?
Well, it's, this is a totally unregulated thing. Amazingly, cigarette smoking has been totally unregulated as well. Now they're talking about putting upper limits on the amount of nicotine in regular cigarettes. But with this, with these e-cigarettes, vaping, there's all these other substances in there, and we just don't know what they're going to do to the body
including
long-term.
pot. I mean, that's the point, is that there are ways to get pots that have the THC content in there, and they get high from the nicotine because it's so concentrated.
That's right.
Sanjay, thank you for sounding the alarm about all of
you.
that really important story. All right, time for CNN Money now.
Hi, everybody. Just a quick reminder, Mox News survives solely on your tips and contributions. It's easy to make a contribution or a tip or leave a tip at moxnews.com, or there are clickable links in the text body of this video. It should take the average person, most people, probably less than 2 minutes. Thanks very much for your time and your continued support. Stay cool, Wednesdays. This war is going to end. Till that day.